We believe that the world is on the cusp of a new era, and we wanted to know how Asia business leaders view the future. So we teamed up with the Asia Business Council on a survey that asked CEOs in China for their views on the next new era. We found that there was an overwhelming sense of optimism. About 83% of the CEOs said they're confident that their business will thrive in the new era. Maybe that's because to lead others and be a CEO in a very quickly changing time, you have to be optimistic about your own chances. But at the same time, a huge majority said that they need to significantly transform because of strategic shifts to compete effectively in this next era. There are 5 main domains that define any era. The first is world order. Is it a unipolar or a multipolar world? What are geopolitics looking like? The second is technology platforms. How are data and technology shifting? The third is demographic forces, birth rates, aging, dependency ratios. The fourth is resource and energy systems, climate change, climate risk, energy transition. And the fifth is capitalization, financialization of the systems, debt ratios at the country level. And so across those 5 areas, we actually asked CEOs, how much does your business model need to change to compete effectively in this next era? About 1 in 10 of the CEOs of both MNCs in China as well as local companies said, you know what, across those 5 areas, I don't need to change much. I can take a business as usual approach. So 1 in 10 were very comfortable with their current strategy with no changes. About 1 in 6 or 16 or so % of the CEOs said, I have to fundamentally rethink at least 1 or 2 of those 5 areas to compete effectively in this next era, and technology and energy were particular areas that jumped out. The rest, the huge majority of 3 out of 4 of the CEOs, said that they were going to need to drive fundamental transformation and change across 3 or more of those 5 domains that we mentioned. And so that's pretty significant change. And the fact that the vast majority of Asian business leaders and CEOs of companies in China believe that such transformation is needed to compete tells us a couple of things. One is this next era is going to be quite different than the last era. A lot of change is underway. The second thing is that many of these 5 domains are interconnected. For example, if geopolitics affects trade, then Asia may not be able to easily innovate as much as it needs to get the energy that it needs or drive the energy transition. Another example would be if technology innovation cannot increase productivity, that could compromise energy transition as well, or if capital injection and financing is not available, then growth and productivity as well as energy transition could suffer. And so as we step back from all of this, I'm very eager to see all of the change that this next era brings. I'm excited that CEOs are optimistic about their chances in this next era and looking forward to the transformation and change that they'll need to bring to their business models to compete effectively.